because when you've lost power in your vehicle and you haven't had breakfast and you're about to lose your fridge and all your power, you go hiking.
If this is your first time here, we're Eric and Brittany Highland, and along with our 8-year-old son Caspian, we're attempting to drive around the entire world in our home, a Jeep Gladiator we call Dauntless. Our goal at Hourless Life is to give you a first-person point of view so that you feel like you're actually with us on this incredible journey. And you guys, these videos take a lot of work, especially as we're traveling full-time. So would you encourage us by taking a moment right now, subscribe to the channel. We'd love to take you around the world with us. In our last video, we took you with us around the 7 Lakes region of Chile. We wild camped at places with breathtaking views, did some incredible hikes, and drove to the southern terminus of the Pan-American Highway, the longest motorable road in the entire world. It was an awesome time. If you missed it, we'll link it here. Today's video is a crazy adventure as we continue our journey south. We leave the city of Ancud on Chiloé Island and head through Puerto Montt to La Arena, where we catch a series of ferries that drop us off at Caleta Gonzalo, and from there we continue south towards the city of Chaiten, across the Futaleufu, down to La Junta, and finishing up today's video in Puyahupi. This was the South American part of our journey that we were looking forward to the most, the world-famous Carretera Austral. Included in this video is our longest travel day ever, camping at remote and stunningly beautiful wild camping areas, taking incredible hikes to see 3,000-year-old trees, and of course we have electrical system problems in an extremely remote area of the world, and we have to figure that out. But we also visit museums where horrible natural disasters took place, get pulled over to our most challenging military checkpoint in our entire journey so far, and find my favorite wild camping spot in over 11 years of full-time travel. To say that there's a lot of adventure in today's video is an understatement, so grab your favorite snack. Let's get started. We're leaving the beautiful but horsefly-infested Chiloé Island and heading off on an epic adventure.
We have to escape the island of the flies.
Let's go! Hurry!
I believe this is our last 2 hours ever on the Pan American. We are just a few minutes away now from the ferry crossing. Oh, look at that, driving straight on. Looks like we might be here a little while though, because we're some of the first people on.
Landing on the mainland once again.
Goodbye, Chiloé Island. On to the Carretera Austral.
This is the city of Puerto Montt. This is where the Carretera Austral begins.
Turn left onto Carretera Austral, Diego Portales.
This is exciting.
Continue on Carretera Austral for 9
Kilometer zero.
So is the whole Carretera like this, man?
You wish. Everybody who's done it is laughing at you right now.
I'm kidding.
I think the north section is decent, but I think by the time you get to O'Higgins at the end, you're kind of begging for pavement.
Coming up on our campground, it's supposed to be up here on the right near a river.
It's really beautiful. There's a river right behind our home. It's quiet. We're the only people camping here. It's great. It's expensive, but other than that, it's great.
What are you doing?
It's a big day today.
Today is a big day. Today may be the start of the most epic drive we've ever taken at Hourless Life. This is the world famous Carretera Austral that goes through the southern part of Chile. And today may be the longest day we've ever had at Hourless Life. We have 3 ferries to take, and there's a storm front down there. As far as Dauntless is going, suspension is still a little iffy. It's a lot better than it has been, but we're having some electrical issues. I know sometimes it may come across as like I'm pointing out things like there's a storm coming and our suspension and the electrical issues, but I don't want you to think that I'm not excited. I am super excited, and I know Brittany's almost beside herself.
I have had to come to terms with what Eric is doing, because sometimes it feels like he's being overly negative, but what I've learned is that he's doing risk assessment, and he is trying to think about everything that could go wrong so that he can plan for it. So that's a dynamic that we have been working through.
I do my risk assessment based on things that's happened before. So, anything on the front bumper?
No.
Anything on the back bumper?
No.
And we leave the tent open?
No.
Did we leave the side wings unlocked?
No.
Did we leave the side wings open?
No.
Did we leave the back door unlocked?
Are you saying all of this has happened in the past?
Yes.
I don't remember ever driving off with the tent open. I'm not sure we've done that one, but everything else probably. It's so pretty out here. Lots of signs for pescados, mariscos. The fishing boats are out in the shallows. It's like Chile's Maine.
I think that's the ferry right there.
We just bought, was it called Milao or something?
Milcao. It's like a grated potato, and then they put chicharrón de cerdo inside it and twice bacon.
It's really good.
Buen viaje.
Gracias.
It's about $11 to get there. It's a 30-minute ferry ride. We're getting on this one, so we timed it well.
Basically walked right on again.
We are on the ferry, waiting on the final cars to come up. There's Dauntless. This is what the ferry looks like. Underway, making way. And there's the other one coming in. Our life is absolutely crazy, and this is an awesome adventure.
He's a jolly good fellow, 'cause he just read a whole book.
Hey! Congratulations, Caspian.
Thanks.
First ferry done. Now we have about an hour to drive to Orinopiren, where we will catch our next ferry. This has been a beautiful and peaceful drive. It's green and hilly, with the mountains rising in the distance.
4 minutes out from Orinopiren. They want us there 2 hours before the ferry takes off. Something weird's going on. I just talked to the lady over there at the ferry terminal, and she said that the next ferry leaves at 6 p.m. My understanding was that ours leaves at 4 p.m. and that we had to be in line by 2. I have to go back to the restaurant and find out from Brittany what's going on. We'll have to take a look at our tickets. Kind of glad I took that walk down to the ferry. Find out what Brittany has to say here. So I just talked to the people at the ferry terminal. They said that the next ferry leaves at 6 p.m. Brittany is looking up our tickets so we can find out what time our ferry actually leaves.
Oh look, it says 1800.
So why did you say 4?
I don't know.
So we're on the 6 p.m. ferry.
Yeah,
And we need to be here at 4.
correct.
What do you have to say for yourself?
We'll have a very relaxing afternoon.
You are something else. All I'm going to say, YouTube, is if the roles were reversed here, it would not be this easy.
The ferry is delayed.
How long, Brittany?
2 hours. So instead of leaving at 6, it's leaving at 8.
Good thing we got here as early as we did because we're always prepared. We were here at 12:30 this afternoon. This is a mess. Everybody keeps trying to cut, and so they're all like sitting, trying to park here, and then the people are telling them you can't park there. Meanwhile, there's like big trucks going by.
Whew. Dauntless survives another close encounter.
It looks like the ferry is finally coming in.
It is 8:23.
So let's do some math. It's 8:30 now. Let's say we're on board at 9. At 12:30 in the morning, we'll be arriving at the 10-kilometer gravel spot. And then we're going to drive across, board another ferry that's 35 minutes. So somewhere around 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, we'll be setting up camp. We're still waiting to board the ferry, but Caspian has been busy drawing, and he just drew this. What did you draw?
That one is called the Jet Eye. Because it has jets on its wings and it has one eye, but like in Star Wars, the Jet Eye. Return of the Jet Eye. Are you kidding me? There's a place under?
Ferry number 2. Dauntless is second in the line. It's a large ferry boat.
Hello. It is 1:15 a.m. and we are coming close to the shore on our second ferry. Eric's been sleeping. I just had to wake him. I told him last night, I was like, it's way easier than a red eye. You don't have to go through security. You don't have to take your belt off. Take your laptop out of your bag. Don't have to pack at all. So we have to disembark and drive the little stretch and take the third ferry. We are off and we are entering Parque Nacional Douglas Tompkins. These poor souls have been waiting here for the ferry, which is crazy crazy because we had infrastructure where we were waiting, but they don't have any infrastructure here. We are rolling on to our final ferry, 3 of 3. I would say today, but it's the next day, so now it's tomorrow. This one is half an hour.
I'm much more awake than I was the last time we recorded. We're finishing up our third ferry, right? Is this the third?
It's the third. We're almost done.
So far, we have had a 16-hour and 28-minute travel day.
Here's your gravel, baby.
Yep. There's not much to see. It's 2:30 in the morning. But we've got Dauntless all set up right here. Oh, it's been a long day.
Good morning, world. This is the fairy tale land we've woken up in. So kind of the worst thing happened. We got to camp, our parking lot, and Eric checked the red arc and our temperature sensor was reading -40, which is what happened in Cotopaxi when the temperature sensor went bad. And basically when that happens, the system shuts down. We have lost the ability to charge our battery right as we start the Carretera Austral, and we are so remote. What this means is that our battery is going to keep dropping. It's down to 87 now and continuing to lose percentage. So that's what we're up against today. Eric is struggling with it.
With that said, Brittany has surprisingly a very good attitude about it right now. We'll see if that lasts. Meanwhile, our friends were on the main ferry with us and they were supposed to be here with us tonight, but they didn't get on the second ferry with us, and now we don't know where they are. Get an update, Brittany.
We are heading to a hiking trail because when you've lost power in your vehicle and you haven't had breakfast and you're about to lose your fridge and all your power, you go hiking. That's a thing. Okay, so everybody needs to make sure they're charging their devices.
All your dreams are coming true, Brittany.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. I'm not gonna let this rob my joy. I'm gonna find some way to make this work so that we can still enjoy the Carretera Austral. I did not expect the roads to be like this so soon. They're not horrible, it's just we've barely gotten started. It's really a stunning beauty out here, and the fact that it's so remote and so hard to get to makes you appreciate it even more. Hey, my friends! They could still be asleep because of last night.
There are some trees here that are over 3,000 years old called Futaleufu cuprescioides. You can see them at about 700 meters from here, which is about a 40-minute walk. I'm not going to do the full thing, but I'm just going to walk through here a little bit. And then Brittany, Caspian, and the family are going to make the hike eventually. So beautiful and peaceful here. Reminds me of something out of the Lord of the Rings. This is pretty cool.
So Eric did as much of this path as he could with his knees, and now Caspian and I are going. And this is just perfect hiking weather today. I am very excited.
Radio check.
Caspian has a radio, and with the radio, Daddy has told us that our friends are awake and they're gonna try and meet us on the trail. We have made it to the bridge that Eric went to. Caspian is unsure of this whole thing. On the other side of the bridge, we are starting to see some magnificent moss-covered trees. And I was telling Caspian, it's hard to even wrap the mind around 3,000 years old. There are so many sounds in the forest, clickings, frogs and insects. And Caspian's friend Maverick just caught up with him on the trail, so they're ahead. And I am enjoying a little more quiet. These trees are tremendous, starting with their roots, going up their ancient trunks covered in moss, all the other plant species that they give sustaining life to. Can't even see the very top. Look at this. It's like a sculpture. It's a work of art. I just can't get over the feeling that it's such a privilege to see this, because there are so many people who will never see this with their own eyes, and I'm really grateful. We all got split up on the trail. Eric stayed back with the Jeep. He doesn't like leaving the Jeep at hiking trailheads because so many break-ins happen there. It is our only home and things are breaking down as it is, so I guess an abundance of precaution isn't such a bad thing. I am slowly starting back.
Brittany's adjusting the temperature in the fridge to try and conserve what little energy we have left.
Ironically, we're all stocked up, right? Because we're hitting this highway where we knew there weren't going to be grocery stores or places to get food, so our fridge is full. So I just turned up the temperature so that the battery lasts longer, and hopefully we can have the fridge long enough to at least eat our meat. And what we're going to eat after that, I don't know, but we'll figure it out. 11 miles away is another trailhead. This one is for the Chaiten hike. However, it has mixed reviews, with some people saying like it wasn't really worth it. And if you go to the wild camping that's nearby, you can see it from there too. I'm leaning against doing that hike, but I'm interested in that camping spot.
Am I going to have any input whatsoever?
Yes.
I need to figure out like how things get shipped. I need to get in touch with Red Arc. I don't know that our battery's going to make it till tomorrow morning.
We are at Camping Cascadas Escondidas. We are not here to camp. We are here to do another hike. First, we're going to have some lunch.
Dauntless is packed, so the table is at the bottom. So she's getting creative with our camp stove on the ground.
Nice thing is that it's not windy at all, and that makes it so much more pleasant. I don't think I've ever cooked with it on the ground before. This is our second hike of the day, Sendero Cascadas Escondidas, the Lost Falls. We've heard that it takes about 2 hours to do. We're gonna go with our friends. Eric's gonna stay back and rest a little bit, which I think is good because he did not get a lot of rest last night. And I don't know how much I'm gonna film, but I'll take a little bit of the highlights. Look at this beautiful log with the waterfall. So beautiful. We have made it to the last and biggest and best waterfall. Wow, it was worth it, right? Yeah, so beautiful. Caspian had something happen while we were separated on the trail. He was playing here, and somewhere around where that's broken, he fell. And Griff said that he fell down there, which has got to be like a 10-foot drop. Caspian, what happened when you fell?
One of my shoes flew off.
And what did you hurt?
My hand.
Can you move your fingers?
Yes.
I'm so glad you're okay. This is the bridge. And that's the drop. That's crazy. We are on the home stretch. It's so slippery and wet. I slipped right on my bottom. I am feeling at this point that if we both get back in one piece, it'll be a good day. It has been quite a hike, absolutely beautiful. I think he's gonna be okay, but we need to get back to Daddy and get in some dry clothes. We're all back together again after our hike to see the Cascadas. Still so thankful that Caspian survived his fall. And I think we're, 40 minutes from camp? What is this camp that you picked, Eric?
One that has power and electricity so that I can actually run things that I need to run to figure out what our next steps are to get our Jeep fixed. This is our current situation at the campground. You can see our refrigerator. We have unplugged it from where it is normally plugged in here, and we have it plugged in via the charging cord that is now plugged in here. Goes in there to their power source.
So that's a huge blessing. I think we'll just use campgrounds as much as possible and run it during the day on a high temperature, and maybe it'll last a couple days, at least enough to eat through some food. And look at what I made. It's gonna be so good. It's keto chili. I'm ready to eat, so you need to get off that thing. The sunset is pretty amazing. Look at that. What a gift. Good morning, world. Look at that. You can't even tell the difference between the water and the sky. That is so cool. Eric is inside. He is working on talking to Red Arc about getting the part shipped and talking to some other travelers to get a good address to have the part shipped to. But right now it looks like it's gonna go to Punta Arenas, which is at the far end of Chile. I mean, it's within a stone's throw of Ushuaia, so almost the end of the continent. And so we are going to end up going all the way through the Carretera Austral, almost all the way to Ushuaia without power. So basically a constant power outage for probably several weeks. Bicyclists and overlanders on motorcycles do this journey without a fridge and without a cooler. So if they can do it, I'm sure that we can do it too. And I just don't want this disappointment to rob our joy of being here. We worked so hard to get here. It took a long time, at least for us, and I still want to make the most of it.
A good friend named Sammy who reached out to me and gave me some alternate ideas. One of the ones we're considering is trying to find a battery charger just to kind of top off the battery, because the Red Arc system is allowing us to draw from it. We just can't put into it. So we're heading into town right now, and we're going to see if any of them have a battery charger. They have a battery charger. Now, I know there's a lot of talk on the internet about don't use chargers for lead acid batteries, AGM batteries, for lithium batteries, and all kinds of things like that. We've done a lot of research. So far, we think this is the best idea for what we're looking to do. So with that said, I just purchased this. It was $24, and it plugs into Chilean power. So it will only last us while we're here.
We literally have to put it on the terminals. We can't use solar, we can't use our alternator, and we can't use shore power, because all three of those go through the Red Arc system.
This is just a stopgap measure until we get the correct parts that we need to fix our system. If $24 is what's gonna make it possible for us to do this section of the trip with a fridge, then that was well worth it. I'm gonna go into town and look at a couple other shops. If I see a better one, like if I see an actual lithium battery charger, I'm gonna pick that up as well, and I'm gonna donate this to somebody else. And I might actually buy some wire too for another potential fix type thing that I'm looking to do. Just stopped at this store, El Rayo. Ran into a guy named Antonio who works at the store. He has an electrical shop up the street.
Of course he does.
I was explaining to him what our issue is, what we're hoping to do, and he's like, well, I have the stuff, but I don't have it here. I have it at my other shop. If you want to follow me there, I can sell you the wire, the terminals that you need, and we can do it all over at my shop. And I said, well, can I pay you with card? He said yes. So we are headed to the shop. It feels like currently everything that can go wrong is going wrong. Dauntless is parked back over there. I've got him taken apart. I've got the bolt that comes out of the negative battery terminal. This bolt is so big that they don't make the eyelets for it to put around the battery terminal. So Bruno over here is going to create one. Meanwhile, we have an oil leak that surprised us this morning. It wasn't there earlier. When I opened up the hood, there was no oil anywhere, but now there's oil. And it just feels like one thing after another after another. We're having some issues. This is a total experiment that we're doing. Essentially what we've done is we're taking the Cascadia 4x4 VSS, Vehicle Solar System, solar panel here, which is an 80-watt solar panel, and we're taking it off the battery, which it's been charging the vehicle battery, and we're going to splice it to these wires. And then we're running these wires down through the engine bay, down below, up through here, into the bed of the truck, where we're going to connect it directly to the battery. The idea being that we're going to bypass the Red Arc system and use this solar panel to give a little bit of a charge to the battery on a daily basis. Antonio and Bruno have been knocking this thing out with me. I surely appreciate them. Today has been quite a process. I have been under the Jeep, in the Jeep, on top of the Jeep, figuring out the Jeep with Antonio and Bruno, who have been really, really helpful. We actually utilize our friend Sammy's suggestion to run those cables instead of to our cranking battery to our lithium battery, just so that when we're parked like right now out here in the sun, the lithium battery is getting some juice. So the idea is to top off the battery while we're at camp, and then unplug everything. The solar panel will keep it a little bit charged for while we're out, and then when we need to, by looking at the voltage, we will go and get another campground and charge it back up again.
Yeah, but we might actually be able to wild camp a little bit, which is what I'm most excited about.
And thank you, Sammy. Thank you, Antonio. Thank you, Bruno. And thank you, Brittany and Caspian, for your patience as well. What did you guys do while I was doing this?
We went to a coffee shop, had treats and coffee, and then we played Uno, and then we read about King Arthur, and then I read a book and Caspian listened to an audiobook.
Who's got the better deal here? I want to know.
This is our post-project lunch, and we have chupe de centolla. And centolla is another word for crab, so it's like chupe de jaiba. But look at all this crab. This is crazy. I've never seen it like this before. Are we really and seriously getting on the road again?
We are. We spent 3 nights here?
3 nights. It felt like longer, though.
All right, Brittany, what's the plan?
All right, so we have some chores and we have some sightseeing.
We are going to Museo de Sitio Chaiten.
Chaiten was the site of a volcanic eruption from Volcan Chaiten.
This is the museum here. And over here around the corner, up on top there where you see the vapor, that is the volcano Chaiten. On May 1st, 2005, it erupted without any warning to the town here of Chaiten. It was like a honey, like a caramel, the lava. So it didn't go and burn up the town or anything. But because it was so thick, the gases inside the volcano had to reach a massive pressure, which gave a 20-kilometer plume. And the ash that was dropped down flooded this entire valley. A couple weeks after the eruption, they had a massive rain, like a 60-year flood rain. All of that ash got pushed into the canals and the river grew. And the river came through and flooded this entire area and wiped out the city of Chaiten. So that's how the city was destroyed. It was destroyed from a flood as a result of the volcanic explosion. Then the people came back and they wanted to rebuild the city, but the government didn't want them to. So they were going to rebuild it in a place outside of the flood zone. The Chilean government came down to help them do that. However, right around that time, there was an earthquake in 2010 in a major city. And so all of the machinery and everything that they had brought down here to help the people of Chaiten, which was about 2,000 people at this time, went to the city to help them. And so the people who were left here started to rebuild again. And it's right back where it was in the middle of the danger zone for another volcanic eruption. Update, Brittany.
We're leaving Chaiten and heading south on the Carretera Austral. We have been obsessively checking our battery voltage to see how our hood solar panel is doing with feeding the fridge. So far, so good. What's the highest we've seen it today?
Was it 13.3 or 13.4? 13.3,
I think 13.3 today. So that feels good.
Starting to see the snow-capped mountains as we continue south now.
Caspian, look at this bridge.
Does it look safe to me?
I've gotten off Carretera Austral to go to museum, Museo de la Bandera, Museum of the Flag. He said it's a sad story. We'll see what this is about.
The family who lives here was greatly impacted by the landslide. There was a giant rock that hit the side of their house, collapsed walls, their daughter got buried, but all 5 of the family members survived. And the next day they put up a flag to show that they believed that God had protected them. And this whole area is a testimony not only to what happened to them in the landslide, but what happened to the whole town. So there's images of vehicles being covered and buildings being destroyed. There's a memorial for the people who were lost. It's just all in memoriam for this landslide that happened in 2017.
This is the main road that goes out towards Futaleufu. There's a wild camping spot.
It's not Texas, so nobody's gonna come out with a shotgun. There's no property signs.
This tree-lined road is the road we just came down, and this is our spot. You can see the mountains behind us. There's Dauntless and this beautiful lake. 100% free to camp here. I was just telling Brittany if we weren't having these electrical issues, I might stay here 2 or 3 days. What do you think, Caspian?
I love it.
We are leaving our first proper wild camping site on the Carretera Austral. It did not disappoint.
That was a beautiful campsite, don't you think, Caspian?
I'm gonna miss it.
Futaleufu.
Futaleufu.
Futaleufu is where we're heading.
Sheep crossing. The sign said, "Welcome to Futaleufu, a country painted by God." Wow. You can see why people go whitewater rafting here. So beautiful.
Here we go. We are leaving Futaleufu.
It probably seems slightly crazy that we came here and didn't go whitewater rafting.
To the whole world.
It literally is the world destination for whitewater rafting.
Why can't we?
I don't know that you're old enough, son. I want to make sure that when you go whitewater rafting for the first time that you have a really good experience.
We are headed back to the Carretera Austral, and we are going to head south to a town called La Junta. According to the forecast, it's supposed to rain fairly heavily over the next 3 days. Now, whether that'll be true or not, I don't know. And maybe the weather forecast will change.
I'm looking at Google Maps. We've already been on the road for a while, but we have about 100 kilometers left. And I was just thinking back to when we were in Colombia. When we were in Colombia, 100 kilometers was usually the most that we could travel in a day, and it would take us 3.5 hours. And here, in the area of the Carretera Austral, which we've been talking about is so remote and the roads aren't really good, we're gonna make 100 kilometers in an hour and a half. So might want to stop because we have coverage.
Okay. What are we stopping for?
You told me that you wanted to check the weather once we got coverage.
It looks like it's supposed to be dry today and dry tomorrow. Is that right?
Until midday.
So we're just looking for a place to spend the night tonight.
It's so beautiful back here. Reminds me of a national forest in the States. At least we'll probably have this place to ourselves. I don't see too many other vehicles coming up here.
Brittany and I just walked the beach. It's pretty soft sand on this side, but it looks like there's another entrance up ahead that I can back into. Brittany is getting out our go tread so that we can get a little bit more level where we're at. Sand here is pretty deep in some spots, but we got a nice little spot right here. Look at this view. Wow. This is what Brittany came to the Carretera Austral in Patagonia for.
So fun. I love it. It is what I hoped and dreamed for. I think we need to start collecting some wood for a fire.
Really? Could we?
I'm working on Daddy.
Could we, Daddy?
You start collecting wood and putting it right over there by that.
Okay.
Eric and Caspian are making a fire.
And I gathered quite a bit of wood.
Good job, Caspian. Put it right next to me. Caspian really wanted to make a fire, so he was very diligent. He gathered these huge chunks of wood, and I told him we need smaller than that. And so he did that as well, and now we have a beautiful fire. Caspian is still out there doing his thing.
I'm so happy. So relaxed. I wish we didn't have to leave tomorrow.
What are you doing up on that tree, Caspian?
Brushing my teeth.
Up there.
I like climbing trees while brushing my teeth.
What are you, Tarzan?
I guess so.
You see our son?
It's the life, baby. Guess if you can climb a massive log to brush your teeth, why not? It's the next morning and everything just feels pretty perfect. We had a beautiful sleep to the sound of the rushing river. Just thankful to be here in Chile, getting to see this.
Waking up this morning, I was telling Brittany, this may be my very favorite wild camp we've ever done in, how many years have we been?
Almost 11 years.
Almost 11 years. We had a beautiful fire last night. We walked along the beach. We looked at rocks. We hung out. We just spent time as a family. Have no connectivity whatsoever. And it has just been awesome.
And there's beetles. Not even a stray dog visited us, which is truly a miracle.
That's a first in Latin America.
Right?
And now where are we heading, Brittany?
We're going south. We are going to get some cell coverage so that we can check the weather again and see how big this rain front is, and then make some decisions from there.
Engage to
While we enjoyed our wild camping last night, we always look at the weather. And there is a significant storm front coming for the next week here in Patagonia with high winds, lots of rain, and that doesn't sound like very much fun for camping. So we just stayed at this little restaurant called Mi Casita de Té, and it was amazing. And they have these little cabins that are here. They're not very big, but they're cute. We're gonna get one for tonight. Just pulled into the little cabañas. Here's Dauntless, here's our cabin, and here's Caspian. How do you like your room up there?
I love it.
Caspian, the Carretera Austral is 1,240 kilometers, and we are at kilometer 380. So we just did the math. How much of it have we done?
1/3.
Over there across the way is our home. We're at this place, and it has started to rain. I don't know anything about this place. Oh, estimated length 8 hours. Don't think we're gonna hike for 8 hours, Caspian. We're just gonna go up a little bit, okay? And it's amazing because we're literally right in the town. Caspian, interpret. This seems bad.
I think it means careful, these trees might fall over on you and hit you in the head.
Oh yeah, because of the erosion, huh? Oh, my heart is beating out of my chest. Because look how high we've climbed. That's the town. What do we do?
Let's turn back.
Yeah. Good morning. We've spent 2 nights here at Mi Casita de Té. It has been raining every day, so it was perfect timing for getting out of the weather a little bit, resting. Eric got our next YouTube video uploaded, and it's just been a really productive, restful time with hot showers and actually even a little bathtub here.
Para ustedes de Mi Casita de Té.
Muchas gracias. Ha
gracias.
sido muy bonito aquí.
Qué bueno que le haya gustado.
Te lo agradecemos mucho.
Ya.
It was a good stay. Oh, they're still coming.
We have a card in case we return.
They're super, super sweet. Just going out of their way to try and take care of us, and that was really nice. We've left the little cabana in La Junta, and we are heading south.
Part of this region's beauty is the abundance of lakes and rivers. They are everywhere, and they provide so much scenic beauty to this area.
Wow. All I can say is wow.
This is the town of Futaleufu.
It's right on this beautiful lake that's to my right. This vehicle. It's a Defender TDI.
Gee, acting like you're a Land Rover expert now.
Far from it.
Man, Jorge Mena would have something to say about that.
I did write an article for Overland Journal about Next Meridian's TDI.
Pasaporte.
That's yours.
¿Me lo facilita? Por favor.
El pasaporte tiene que
Pasaporte.
entregármelo. Bájese el vehículo, caballero.
Ok.
Manos, las manos.
Sit down.
What are they doing to Daddy? Are they feeling him down?
Que pare entonces, que estoy revisando un caballero.
So I don't know what they're doing to Eric, but I think they took his Leatherman, and I think he's sitting behind the Jeep right now.
That was the most ridiculous stop that has taken place in our entire journey. The Carabineros of Chile pulled us over, which is fine. He asked for my passport, so I didn't want to hand him my passport and give it to him to take away. We're always telling people to go to Overland Expo and take the classes, right? Well, one of the classes that I went to was with Graham Jackson, and Graham Jackson is a well-respected overlander, international, global overlander. And one of the courses that I went to before we started this global overland journey was Graham Jackson's class on documentation, police checkpoints, border crossings, etc. Graham was actually the one that said never, under any circumstances, hand somebody your passport and let them walk away with it. We have been told by countless extremely experienced international overlanders, always guard your passport, never hand it over except at official border crossings. So I was doing what I was supposed to do. Regardless of what I could have, should have, would have done, I do not regret any decision that I made. I stuck with my passport the entire time, and he got really bent out of shape, so he asked me to step out of the vehicle, which I did, and I was happy to walk with him with my passport. And then he told me to turn around and put my hands on the vehicle, and then he proceeded to search me for weapons. Well, the guy, when he patted me down, he didn't actually do a proper pat down, and he missed the fact that I have a small fixed blade on my left side. So I have my Leatherman on my right side and a small fixed blade on my left side. It's a very small fixed blade. It's this right here. And this always lives on my left-hand side. He didn't even see it. And I have a feeling, had he seen that, he would have confiscated it. He just kept telling me to shut up, I'm the police. And then he told me to take my hands off the vehicle, and he wanted to see my passport, which again, I didn't leave my passport's presence. I handed it to him again. And then he had one of his other men who was holding on to my Leatherman ask us for the tip, which we have, which is the temporary import permit, and then for our vehicle insurance, which was on Brittany's computer because we only have a digital copy. So we provided that. They wrote all the information down, and they were like, next time a police officer asks you for your passport, you give it to him straight away. And I just said, okay. He wanted to flex his authority, and he's in front of his other guys.
Caspian started crying.
Oh,
And
did he?
so there was another officer on the road who felt bad for Caspian and basically came over to comfort him.
At the end of the day, I was doing what I was trained to do.
You could have told him that you were also a police officer.
I did. He told me in Spanish, if I was in your country and you found the Leatherman on me, what would you do with it? I said I would hold on to it until the end of the interview and I would give it back. And he just kind of nodded. I don't think that's the last time that's going to happen. I'm actually surprised it's the first time it's happened on our entire journey down here so far. With that said, they're really just doing their job. And that's something else that should be noted. They could just do it a little nicer, but individuals are individuals. Along the Carretera Austral, you'll find some of these pull-offs here with just these views. And we're here by this lake right now. It's pretty incredible. Feels like every turn we are greeted with something like this. That couple on the bikes that we just passed were pulling a baby. Mad respect. I know you're probably never going to see our video, but if you do, mad respect. Can you imagine doing that? The Carretera Austral is 1,240 kilometers long, or 770 miles, and at this point, we're less than halfway down there ourselves, so we have a lot more to cover. In our next video, we're going to take you with us as we continue down this world-famous road. We're going to take you to an incredible tour around the incomparable marble caves of southern Patagonia near Puerto Rio Tranquilo. People from all over the world come just to see these. And if that weren't enough, the adventure just gets more intense as we make our way south towards the extremely remote Puerto Yungay, where we try and figure out a way to get on a ferry that we don't have tickets for. You guys, things get a little heated and there's much more to come on this journey. So if you haven't yet, this is your reminder to subscribe to our channel now. Join us on this epic drive around the world, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you get notified when the next video goes up. And if you like what we're about and really want to get to know Brittany, Caspian, and I, join us on our Patreon. Did you know that we regularly share live video from all over the world? Not only that, but we answer real-time questions and so much more with our behind-the-scenes community. Head over to the link in the description of this video. It costs you nothing to check it out. We'd really appreciate it if you take a look. We hope you enjoyed this section of our journey around the world. We thank you for being part of it. Stay tuned for the outtakes, and until next time, we'll see you in the next video. But we're going down the Carretera Austral because that's what we do. What are your thoughts, babe? And I'm going inches and she's moving her feet on the tire. She looks like a circus performer. A long day. 16-hour travel day. Went to sleep at just after 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, nothing. Just a tree that looks literally like a sea. So this is the first page.
Okay.
Here's the stamp that we got.
All right.
Oh, in here.
Back to the trailhead for Sendero Los Ciruelillos. Ciruelillos.